Hey everyone, it is Kate Weatherwise, your favorite weather girl, coming to you on Tuesday, December 9th. It is just about 8 p.m. on the Pacific Coast, which means it's almost 11 p.m. on the East Coast. And we're talking about the weather for the next 3 days ish, maybe until the end of the weekend. Today's Tuesday, so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then maybe a little bit beyond that. But what's going on historically right now, which I don't know if anyone outside of the Pacific Northwest is really paying attention, but there's some massively flooding rains just pointed at the Washington coast from the tropics. So we call that an atmospheric river. We call that the Pineapple Express, whatever you want to call it. It's just constant flow of moisture bringing in rain. The past 24 hours in Western Washington, they've received anywhere from 1.5 to 3 inches of rain. And that's just in the past 24 hours. They received more rain before that. They're going to receive more rain after that. They're going to have a bit of a break here coming up, but then next week it's going to ramp right back up again. So let's just go quickly to satellite imagery. This is current look. It still continues. What I showed you the other day is still going on. This is stretching all the way back to the northern or the northwestern tip of the Hawaiian Islands, and it's coming all the way in, and it's still pointed at Washington State. So they're still getting bombarded with rain. That's, not going to change anytime soon. And there's just flood watches and warnings all over the place. Now, this is the current radar look for that area. This tooth-looking green outline, I don't know why, it just reminds me of a cartoon tooth. This is where all the flooding is taking place. Down in this area, especially near Mount Rainier and that general area, 2 to 3 inches of rain today they have received. The North Sound is getting their fair share as well, but it has really bombarded the Central and Southern Sound. Now, this is going to continue overnight. They're going to have a little bit of a break, but then it's going to rain again on Thursday, and then they'll have a little bit of a break after that, but then it's going to ramp back up again. It's typical for this time of year to be rain, 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 but the Pineapple Express or the atmospheric river that is going on and the longevity of it, that is what is historic, and the amount of rain that's falling on a daily basis. So what I showed you here, coupled with the radar, means there are floods all over the place, just all over the place. So, but what I want to talk about really is the rest of the country. I just wanted to show and highlight to you what the Pacific Northwest is experiencing currently. And I got to put this all the way back here and bring this out so you can see it. There we go. So this is right now, there's rain coming in again. Like I just mentioned, there's a system that's bringing snow to Minnesota and northeastern North Dakota down into Wisconsin. That is going to move pretty much due east with a little bit of rain on the tail end of it to the south. Heading into Michigan, you guys are going to get system snow and then rain on the southern end and some mix in the middle. Snow out here on the front side up into northwestern Pennsylvania and a good western New York State. And then that's going to head, and that's also going to bring some wind. As you can see, there's always wind around here because there's some mountainous areas in Pennsylvania and upstate New York and such, and up into New England. But there's not a lot of impedance of wind down in this area until maybe you get down into Kentucky. There's a little bit more hills and Tennessee. But this is just a windy spot, generally speaking. So this takes us through Thursday. You can see this colder air plunging down from the northwest. That's continually has been the case for December, and it will continue. That trough in the east, that ridge in the west, where it's staying warmer. High pressure's in place, so this area is looking beautiful. Beautiful weather for Arizona. Not much in the way of snow for Colorado, but up here, riding this ridge is just the Pineapple Express. And then over top and then coming down. It's the cold air plummeting down from Canada. And it's really cold. I will show you in a graphic. I showed you in a video I posted yesterday of just the continued cold. And it's going to be in the negatives for this general area here. Like it has been, it's going to continue. And then there's going to be some cold that comes all the way down into the 40s for North Florida. So South Florida, you're going to stay in the 70s for the most part. But North Florida, you could see some 40s here coming up. So as we move forward, this low will stay in New York and head east and northeast, a little bit northeast of east. And so upstate Maine, this is for Thursday during the day. And you guys are going to be seeing some snow. And then that exits. But again, the wind stays behind, the colder air stays behind, but it stays pretty dry to the south. You may get a little clipper system. This is what I like to call clipper systems because they just clip on by. They bring some rain, they bring perhaps some snow, some mix, some just like it tickles you with a little bit of wintry precipitation or a little bit of cold, and you got a little bit of wind. So that's going to clip on by and maybe bring a little bit of rain and a little bit of snow down into the mid-Atlantic area. This is the western Maryland and the spine in West Virginia. You may get some snow, and then that exits, but the cold air stays behind. This is coming up through Thursday, and this system that pulls through here is going to clip a little bit of Florida as well. But then you come up here into Montana, there's another low that's riding down from Canada, and it's not a deep low, but it is going to reinforce the cold air through here. As you can see, cold, right through here. You like that noise. And then the wind as well, another wind situation, some more snow in central Montana. This is coming in on Thursday night into Friday morning. Snow. And then this system kind of pulls out and heads to the upper Midwest. And you get a little bit more, and then another little bit of a clipper system. And these clipper systems always come from the same direction, the northwest, and they just sort of clip. Like I said, they just sort of clip on by, and they wave and they drop some snow, or they drop some hail, or they drop some little bit of rain, but usually it's snow, and then it goes away. So then another reinforcing shot of cold air, and then this low gets to the coast, and it sort of gets a little more strength. And again, for inland in Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Vermont, up into Maine, all of the Northeast, you guys inland will see rain or see snow. There'll be some mix out on the coast, on the Cape of Massachusetts. It looks like it's going to be a mix or rain, and then again with the wind. And this is Sunday. I'm getting into Sunday now. So the Sunday time frame, I don't like to go beyond basically 5 days of weather forecasting because things often change. But we do have these little potentials for clipper systems to come through the mid-Atlantic and Northeast, bringing perhaps some snow. It looks like in the wake of this one, there's going to be some lake effect snow that starts to develop during the day on Sunday as well. So you football fans, if there's any football games in this area, they could be snow filled. I always love football games in the snow. It's just so fun to watch. And then down here in South Florida, you guys are going to see some rain and some thunderstorms, which is kind of typical of this time of year. So as we go on out, I'm going to go out all the way out beyond to the end of this model time frame, which takes us through Monday, December 15th, in the morning. So Monday morning, so here comes another system to the Pacific Northwest. The rest of the country, except for the very upper Midwest, is going to be pretty benign. Not much going on. There's the cold air still clipping from about Maryland, Virginia to the Northeast and the upper Midwest. And then the rest of the country is in the red, is in the warm air sector. And then this next system again, that's going to bombard the Pacific Northwest with the wind, with the rain. That's just how it's been for these guys lately. So, right quick, we're going to go. This is a really, I've shown this one before and it's kind of really busy, but if you go through it pretty quickly, it just shows you bottled up here is there's some cold air, and then keep spilling down through here into the eastern part of the United States is some cold air, and then this ridge of warmth here in the west, and it just continues and continues, and then these low pressure systems just keep riding these waves all the way through. This geeks me out. I know it looks really busy and maybe even chaotic for some of you, but look at this low pressure system heading out to sea, and this will eventually make its way over to Europe. This system is coming into Canada. Oh, okay, we went all the way out to the end of this. So high pressure, high pressure, high pressure, and then this ridge, and then this trough. And then there's cold air bottled still up in here, but there's enough of a break in the jet stream that this cold air comes all the way down into the United States on this side. So that's what it's been like here for most, I mean, it's only December 9th, but that's what it's been like so far in December. I look out so far that I forget what actually date it is that I'm actually, the day that I'm actually in. I'm always looking ahead, and that's not always good, but so far for the month of December, that's what's going on. And it's going to continue with these little clipper systems, with the atmospheric river that just continues on the Pacific coast. And in the middle, they're continuing sort of a dry pattern over the Rocky Mountains, except for the Northern Rockies and Montana and such. You guys are getting plenty of snow. But as far as a white Christmas is concerned, we're still 2.5, a little more than 2 weeks away. So I'm not going to give my predictions for a white Christmas for my area of the world or any other area of the world, but it's not looking good for the inland Northwest. Montana, I think you're going to be fine, but I'll get into more of that later about a white Christmas. But so far, December is looking very active for this neck of the woods, and little clipper systems for the east. And in the middle, y'all are seeing just some quietness, maybe some showers and thunderstorms, but I will fine tune all of this as we move along, and we'll be back with updates. And it's just a very busy weather pattern for the West right now. But that is it for now. This is Kate Weatherwise signing off, and I will talk to you later. Have a good night, guys.